beating the odds. Week 6, we're about to make a comeback. It's been rough. Our worst week in 3 years last week. What better time to jump on? These are all DraftKings odds. Me and 3 of my sharpest buddies were kind of dull recently making our picks. We went 4-8 last week. It's not great. Still 31-30 on the season, following a 128-83 year last year. We were only a couple wins over this last year at this point. Now we know what's going on. We're going to hit it. I got spicy margaritas in me. I am ready to plow.
I got my Magnum condoms. I got my Wada hundreds. I'm ready to plow.
Let's hit the phones.
Hey, Rob, this is Mike's story. Listen, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I got cute the last 2 weeks, going only props, and it bit me. I'm 1-2 the last 2 weeks between 4. On a slide, let's bounce back this week. I'm going back to the tried and true. I've got a line and 2 props for you. First of all, I love this line. Bengals -3.5, -112 on DK. Listen, Cincinnati's 4 losses have been by combined 15 points only. The Bengals are really close to being 5-0. However, they lost a huge heartbreaker last week in overtime to Baltimore, but they put up 38 points in that game. Joe Burrow did his part, throwing for almost 400 yards. Bengals have averaged 35 points a game in the last 3. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Zach Moss is back. New York is going to be without wide receiver Malik Neighbors. Huge blow to them. He's still in the concussion protocol. Cincinnati's defense, I heard they had a players-only meeting this week after the Ravens put up 41 points. It's a must-win for the Bengals if they want to stay in contention. The Giants have lost 13 out of 20 as underdogs. New York was averaging just under 15 points a game before the Seattle game. It's their only other win against Cleveland, and we know how bad they are. So take the Bengals minus the points. Next, I've got Dalton Schultz over 32.5 receiving yards, -120. This one ticked up from over 29.5. Only hit this line in 2 out of 5 games. Right off the bat, he's been a disappointment this year. I get it, but the hits were in each of the last 2. Now no Nico Collins. He's out with a hamstring injury. Last season, Schultz had 58 and 61 receiving yards in 2 games without Collins. Dixon is down, yes, but the Pats are fairly stingy against slot receivers. And when Diggs lines up outside, he's probably going to get blanketed by Christian Gonzalez. We know that Tank Dell isn't 100% yet. Last year, Schultz was over this line 12 out of 17 games. 6 of those are 55+. He's never going to return to form to get the Patriots defense that just gave up consecutive big games to Jonnu Smith, George Kittle, and Tyler Conklin. Yeah, you got George Kittle, number 1 tight end this year, but also Jonnu Smith, and Tyler Conklin. This feels like a spot where the Texans could feature Schultz in a get-right game. Finally, going defense, Cody Barton over 8.5 tackles plus assists, -120. This is a Denver linebacker. Since Alex Singleton, big blow, he went down for the season out with a torn ACL for the Broncos. Barton has registered 7 and 10 combined tackles, just tackles, in 2 games. And he played 100% of defensive snaps. He's now an every down linebacker. He was an every down linebacker in Washington last season. He went over this line in 8 out of 12 bowl games last year. Should be a solid spot against the Chargers, whose only goal in life is to run the ball, as we know. The Chargers are allowing more than 15 tackles per game to linebackers, and off-ball linebackers cleared this line in 3 out of 4 games against LA. Take Cody Barton over 8.5 tackles plus assists. That's it for me. Let's bounce back this week. Let's make some money.
Happy Friday. Let's go with 3 absolute solid slam dunk winners here. I'm going to go back to the well here. We're going to go with the Bears. Bears team total over 21.5. Sounds like the Jaguars team is probably on the plane right now, maybe. A little bit of delays with the hurricane, a lot of disruption with the travel. They also happen to suck. 30-second DVOA against the pass. Rather than taking the spread of the money line, let's just take the 21.5, probably get it by the 3rd quarter. We'll going to go down to some of the later games here, and 2 road favorites. Not my thing normally, but this is the time for it. We're going to go with the Bungles here. The Bengals -3.5. Yeah, I think this is a turnaround spot for the Bengals. You know, the Giants I'm not sold, and 1-4 Bengals need a win here, and I think they torch them on the roads. Bengals -3.5, going with that. And I'm going on the road again here for Monday Night Football with the Bills and Jets. I'm not sold on the Jets team. Not at all. Every DVOA, everything that I can pull up points to a solid 10-plus Buffalo win. So Buffalo minus 2.5 on DraftKings. 3 winners. See you next week.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Story, the stats, beautiful. He's laying it out for you. Make those bets. Love the Bengals. Double up right there. I just put a pretty penny on that. Let's go. Moving on to my bets here. It's been rough. I went 5-1 to start the year. I am now 8-8. Let's move past it. Let's get past it. Let's get in the money. First bet here. This is my bet of the week. I love this one. Greasy wheel, all that stuff. Squeaky, whatever you want to call it. Breece Hall over 52.5 rushing yards. This one's quite easy to me. The Bills are the number 1 run funnel, as Sean likes to say, in the league. I got a couple stats here. Besides the fact that he's a great player, he's been awful. They've been awful. They just fired Robert Saleh. They got a new offensive coordinator. Maybe run the ball. Maybe give your bell cow the ball here. The Bills play 2 high safeties, the 4th highest rate in the league, light boxes. We have the Bills allowing 5.2 yards per carry, which is the highest rate in the league. Also, they have the 4th highest yards before contact in the league. Breece Hall's going to have some lanes. They're going to give him the ball, 17 to 20 carries. He's going to get this in the second quarter. Second bet here, I am going back to the well. Trevor Lawrence screwed me last week. I don't know how he did it. It was 12.5 yards rushing last week. He had 380 yards passing. Really weird. This week, he is at 7.5 yards rushing against the Bears in London. Bears have a better pass rush than the Colts had. He's going to be scrambling. He's going to be moving around. This number is so low. And if he loses this one, Trevor Lawrence, you're dead to me. Even if they win the game and he throws for 380 again, run the ball, Trevor Lawrence, you're athletic. Last bet here. This guy's really been struggling. Had one good game all year. They're coming off a bye. It is Mr. Calvin Ridley. Shout out Nick O. 41.5 receiving yards. He's the number 1 there. Will Levis is back. I love the matchup against Indianapolis. They have a very, very soft defense. Calvin Ridley is going to torch them. I see him having at least one catch of 40 yards alone. Let's get it. Let's hear from Joe.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. A little bit of a struggle there last week. 0-3, not happy about it. Slow start to the season, but it's a grind. It's a long season. We're trying to make you guys money here. Not acceptable. Got to turn it around, got to right the ship. So we're going to pop off 3-0 this week. Let's get it started. So we're going to go over 4.5 T. Higgins receptions at minus 115. This team popped off last week in a shootout versus the Ravens. Jamar Chase went crazy. T. Higgins went crazy as well. They got some struggles on defense. They may be throwing the ball a lot. T. Higgins is a good receiver. I think over 4.5 receptions is definitely gettable for him. A lot of attention goes to Jamar Chase. It's going to open up some pockets and spots for T. Higgins. Over 4.5 receptions. Second pick, we're going to go over 245.5 Jared Goff passing yards versus the Dallas Cowboys. Should be a pretty high-scoring affair. Maybe going back and forth. Should be a lot of passing going on. They could definitely run the rock with Monty and Gibbs there in the backfield, but Goff can also get to 245.5 pass yards easily, especially if this game turns into a shootout. So I definitely think that's a gettable number as well at minus 115. There's going to be a caveat with this third pick to go 3-0. Rachaad White is doubtful to play. I do not think that he will play, and that should open the door for Bucky Irving to go off. So if White does not play, we're going over 14.5 rush attempts at minus 120 for Bucky Irving. He'll be the number 1 back there. He's definitely going to get the most out of this opportunity. Tampa Bay likes to run the rock. If White does not play, over 14.5 rush attempts for Bucky Irving. Now, if White does play, the backup plan for the third pick to go 3-0 will be Tank Dell over 54.5 receiving yards. With Nico Collins out there, someone's going to have to step up besides Diggs to get that ball moving down the field. So with that being said, it is time to go 3-0. It's time to turn this around. Let's go!
The enthusiasm. Joe, love it. Love it. Like his picks as well. That Tank Dell one, little bonus action. I do believe Rashad White's going to sit, so let's go with Bucky Irving. But pay attention to what he said. I like both of them. Let's make some money, and let's keep on beating the odds.
We're beating the odds. We're beating the odds.